What's going on, everybody? It's your host Isaiah Bagnah for the Realist podcast, man. I'm with my man Jake and Kevin, man. Appreciate y'all being here. We just got finished with our Oklahoma State game. Obviously, this last weekend. It was a close one. It was a scary one, if I'm being honest, at the end. But at the same time, man, I'm gonna be honest. Like, not for one second did I think we were gonna lose. Even when we were down, bro, at the end of that last drive, I was like, damn. But like, one thing that Kalani really talked about, especially at halftime, was you gotta manifest it. You gotta go out there and manifest, these things to happen. And I'm sitting there, man, I'm like, yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, truthfully, you sit there and manifest these things and speak them into reality, right? Bring them to fruition. But at the same time, man, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm sitting here on the sideline, I'm like, telling everybody, like, manifest it. I'm sitting here saying, like, watch, they gonna go down, score off this drive, man. I'm telling you, they gonna go score a touchdown. This is like right when they get out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds on the clock at this point, and like any person with like true common sense would look at that and be like, they're not gonna win this game. Truthfully,
You saw the score predictor, I'm
yeah,
sure.
Right? There was like a 1% chance, less than that we were gonna win that game at that point. But I'm like, man. But everybody kind of was looking at me like I was kind of crazy. Like, whatever, bro. Like, manifest it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was like, okay, how can I really get them to like physically manifest this, man? Like, cause we have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't do anything on the field, we gotta try something off the field. And so I'm like telling guys, I'm like, man, if y'all don't believe, nobody else will. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe, nobody else is gonna believe, right? Like, it truly like it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but like you can have people in the stands and they're believing, saying like, oh, they'll probably score right now too, but like that truthfully doesn't mean anything unless you believe within. The team believes. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm kind of like, like, guys, like, if you don't believe, nobody else will, man. Like, watch, they're going to go score here, right? Like, you got to believe it. You got to brainwash yourself. And then, other guys started, like, man, like, buying. I could see it, like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, bro, we had defense guys on the bench. I'm like, man, get your ass up. We got to be here for the offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to bring the juice, and, like, all this stuff. And, yeah, man, because, LES is magical, man.
It is.
It is, man. It's the most magical stadium, honestly, environment I've ever been in, right? Anything can happen at this point in that spot. So it's like as long as we show effort, man, we believe, bro, and manifest it, it's gonna happen. Then next thing you know, we got the dub, man. Jake hits Darius on a nice little route, man. Breaks a couple tackles, get him in the end zone.
Dude, that was a pretty wild moment in this season for sure, but like even collectively in all of the BYU moments,
BYU
it's
history is
up there, man. It's up there, especially if we keep this thing rolling and you go back to like that one play that kept it alive.
Yes.
Dude, it's up there, man. It's a pretty special moment.
I feel like this year has just been special, bro.
Yes.
So far. And it's only going to keep going. Like I've been saying, it's only going to keep going like this, I believe. As long as we keep coming with the same mentality, the same mindset, the same preparation, we stay truthfully, like, I don't want to sound corny, but truthfully humble and hungry, I feel like sky's the limit.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of Lavelle Edwards Stadium being magical, what'd you think of, like, the drone show and, like, all this stuff? Was that not cool?
That was insane. I sat there, I was looking, I was like, bro, that is absurd in the best possible way. I'm sitting at the tunnel before the game, and I'm, like, looking around, like, dang, this is sick. And I look up, and I see a like a cougar in the sky. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah.
That's what do they call it again?
Drone show?
Drone show.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, those are drones up there, man. And I looked to my left, a big old Y. I was like, holy cow, this is crazy, man. And the lights were going on and off, like just a whole bunch of stuff. The smoke was going through insane. One of the most insane like tunnel moments I've ever had.
I just sent a video to you and Kevin of Kalani walking on the field, and there's the big old Cougar logo behind him, and he's just like,
it's so
he's just in the
badass.
moment, like, I'm a freaking bad A. I'm a head
Yeah.
coach of this team out here. There's drones in the sky. Like, is sick, dude.
Bro, that that is sick. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Something that I've never seen or experienced before. And like I like Kent State game, the vibes were insane.
It was awesome.
It was immaculate. You know, like everybody was jumping, you know, the stadium was going crazy. But kudos to whoever works
for reals. I don't know who that
game
is.
day, because oh my goodness.
They
It's
did a
like-
huge raise.
It has to be the best in the nation.
Oh, I think so.
Hands down.
Oklahoma
has to be,
State
bro.
fans were
There's no
saying
way.
this game, the game experience at LaVell Road Stadium is better than the 30 plus other stadiums I visited. I believe them.
I believe it
I've
too.
been
Kent State fans
Yeah.
said the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you leave a stadium like mad after? I mean, like, yeah, your team got their asses kicked, but how do you leave mad or unfulfilled the stadium after that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, at least the stadium was cool. At least it was a cool experience. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm not leaving empty-handed.
yeah.
You know, good fans too, kind people. You know what I'm saying? I heard they give away fans like cougar tails, free ice cream, like all types of stuff, and like shaking their hands, thanking them to be there.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So you know the north end zone's got that sliver
Yeah,
of fans.
yeah,
which,
the away fans, right?
yeah, and Oklahoma State represented very well. It was very orange. They were
Yeah,
loud.
They were
They made
loud.
some noise.
Yeah.
Like props to Oklahoma State fans.
Oklahoma State fans are rowdy though.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
rowdy, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share a story after this. But anyways,
But yeah, that section they hand out ice cream and things in there. Well, when Kansas State was there was a Kansas State fan sitting on my row, like maybe 5 seats down from me.
okay.
And he's like, "All right, I'm here in the LaVell Road Stadium. Where's my ice cream?" And he's laughing. I'm like, "Bro, you bought the wrong tickets.
You're on the wrong side, man.
This is odd. Like this is
You're on the
the
wrong side.
you're on the enemy side. If you wanted to get the free ice cream, that you're supposed to sit over there." And he's like,
dang.
"Okay, I really want to try one. I'm gonna go buy my own." So he did. He got up in the middle of the
did,
game.
huh?
He came back with Cougar Tail. He came back with ice cream, and he tried. I'm like, "What'd you think?" He's like, "Dude, this is awesome." I was
Great.
like, "Yeah, it is. Not healthy, but
Well, of course not.
It's
but
awesome.
It's fire, man. It's fire. That's so crazy, man. Good for Cougar Nation, bro.
dude." So Oklahoma State story.
Oh yeah. So it was last year, right? In the Oklahoma State game, and it's like, what was it? It was literally at the end of the game. First of all, the whole game, like you're like 4 feet away from the stands, right? And so people are basically like over top of you, essentially, and they're yelling at you. You know, they're like, "Oh, like go back to Provo, like we don't want you here," just stuff like that. You know, some regular, but talking crazy still. You know, and like I remember, bro, like there's these two like I would say middle-aged women, and like these 3 guys, these 3 middle-aged men too, just like chirping at me the whole game. Every time I came off, like 13, and like the women are like, I don't know, trying to like flirt with me, but also cuss at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, call me like, saying like, "Hey, handsome," like, "Whoop de whoop, what's this?" Like all this stuff, and then like, the guys will come off, or when I come off and be like, "Oh, you suck," you know, "You guys got your ass kicked that drive. He's coming all day." I'm like, "Bro, what is going on?" Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just getting a tornado of insults over here. And so, at the end of the game, after the fumble, like I kept hearing like, 13, you're so handsome. Just like yelling at me. Just 13, this, like, and I'm ignoring it because I'm pissed off. You know what I'm saying? First of all. And second of all, I'm like, bro, are you serious? You're like, stop it. You know? And so I'm standing there and they keep going. Now they're trying to get my attention. They're like, they search up my Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Like, Isaiah, like this, that, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, the game's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over. Like, shut up. And then the lady, the girl who was like saying all this stuff the whole game, took her beer and threw it at me.
Whoa.
And, bro, it got all over me, bro. Like, beer all over my backside, into my neck and stuff. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? I look back. I'm like, are you serious right now? And then she like blew me a kiss. And I was like, bro, y'all are some crazy mugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way this just happened, man.
Dude, she's trying to get you to sign up for an abusive relationship. She's
no cap. I'm like, what the heck, bro? Are you serious right now?
some kind of wild abusive relationship.
Bro, right?
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff. Like, you toxic, man. Hey, I want to stay out of here, bro. You know? And so, like, yeah, man. And then, so that's pretty much like what I remember of Oklahoma State fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That they're just kind of crazy.
You live in Oklahoma.
You kind of got to be.
I guess you got to be a little crazy,
a
right?
little bit, right?
Yeah.
That's funny, man. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my little story about Oklahoma State fans, man. But I'm glad they got treated good, though. You know what I'm saying? I am.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, other than, you know, some fans that we ain't, one team that we're not going to mention right now. We'll mention them eventually, but we're not going to mention them today. Other than them, I hope every fan section gets treated well.
Yeah.
I do.
And it's cool where we're new in the conference. You're building a reputation almost of like, hey, we play really good football.
Yep.
We have an awesome game experience, and this is a bucket list item for you. You want to come here and experience this. You probably lose.
Your team will probably get their ass kicked. But hey, you'll have a great experience.
You'll leave smiling somehow.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it.
So
ain't that something, man?
Yeah.
But hey, I feel like from a losing side, there's no other way you'd rather have it. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully. Like, yeah. So anyways, Oklahoma State game was crazy, man. You guys were there.
Oh, yeah.
And what were your thoughts? What did you guys think? Kev, what'd you think, brother?
I was a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't blame you.
Third down was kind of trial. But, you know, when I was in the press box, so you're not supposed to cheer, but
right, you try to keep it neutral.
Professional,
that's the word.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Chase were in the press box and we see Jake throw it to Darius and we're like, okay. And then we see him catch it and then he breaks the tackle and we're both like,
oh my gosh,
oh my
right?
gosh.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm
like
all the time I do the same thing. I'm like,
in shock.
Oh my gosh.
In shock.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's
and
so
then,
cool, man.
Yeah, being on the field post game, like, it was, yeah.
Pretty cool.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
That's awesome. What'd you think, bro?
dude. So I was sitting with my brother. I haven't got him out to a game yet this year.
Oh, nice.
He was my run game coordinator, my O-line guy. He played college ball. Love watching games with him because he get a different experience than watching with most people. And we were getting to the end of the game, and we're both like, we're gonna pull this out, but we're gonna get a little bit humbled, which is not a bad thing, and it's gonna get us like focused up on executing. Because I mean, we could talk about it, but there was execution issues. We were kind of calling some of them out. I was talking to you about some before, where I was like, "What were we doing this and that?" You watch the replay, and you're like, "No, we just screwed the pooch."
Yeah.
Which is not, dude, like that happens to every team.
Absolutely.
Turn on the NFL, bro. Happens in the NFL. Happened to the 49ers on Saturday, like a couple times. It's just part of football. And then they go down. They're driving. And they're in the red zone to take the lead after we kick the field goal. And part of my brain is going back to the Boise State game with Oklahoma, where I'm like, you might just want to let them score.
Yeah.
Because I believe in our 2-minute A-Rod. And I like Jake. I like Darius. I like Chase. I like Keelan. I like our guys.
We have playmakers.
We
do.
And I like our guys. A-Rod also has a pretty good track record of putting together good 2-minute O's. He did it with Zach a couple times, with Jaron a couple times. So like, I was like, you know what? Maybe there's some strategy if you just let him score and give your offense as much time as you can on it. Yep. Wasn't what we did. We tried to stop them, but they scored. And bro, let's not joke. Oklahoma State pulled everything out of their bag of tricks.
Everything. For sure.
That quarterback screen. And like we were talking about this week before. We're like, bro, they got nothing to lose.
Literally, they have nothing to lose at this point.
Yeah.
Like, they better pull out some crazy stuff that nobody's seen.
Yeah, and Gundy's a good coach. He's been doing this for 25 years, Kevin. Something like that, right? He's been head coach.
I think 2007 is when
Dude,
he
he's
took
a
over
good coach,
Oklahoma
man.
State. Or
I'll give it to him.
it's like him and Whittingham.
They're
Two
close.
longest
Yeah, they're
tenured,
very
like,
close.
right
and
next to each other.
I think they're similar in coaching style. Personally, I think Gundy's
Yeah,
got a little
I
more,
agree.
a little bit more like personality. Talking about getting headbutted by cows and stuff, and Kyle's a little bit more like serious, all business. But coaching philosophy, tough teams, physical teams, executing at a high level, like they're pretty similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
They know football, man.
they both know football, dude.
They know football just as good as anybody, in my opinion.
So yeah, that being said, like Oklahoma State pulled everything out. They went for it. You know, they converted on these third downs. They ran trick plays. They executed well. They had a week extra prepare.
Yep.
All this stuff. But I was still like, man, just give us a shot. We'll be fine. And
Yeah.
then when we came up with the dub, it was I love it in Lavelle Stadium when plays like that happen. It's not all the time, but you get just like random strangers are like hugging you, shoving you, slapping you on the back. Like there was a dude like 6 rows in front of me who on their last drive to go take the lead, he's yelling at his dad. And I
Really
couldn't hear
crazy,
what
yeah.
he was yelling, but you could see in his face. He's just ticked. He's yelling at his dad. His dad's like, it's like, hey, this is like, I'm telling you, this guy's like 35. He's not like a 15-year-old.
I thought you were talking about like maybe like a young man.
No, this guy's like a grown man. He's probably got kids at home. And his dad's probably like late 50s, early 60s. And he's
Yeah.
like, hey, and he's chirping at him. And we score. And it's just like pure ecstasy in the whole stadium. Everyone's going freaking nuts.
Crazy.
Energy's wild. This wild, frantic, celebratory energy. And that one guy who was chirping the whole time, who just like gave up on belief and like got bitter, he's just there. You could tell he's not enjoying it. Like he got so emotionally invested in like the upset. Like we suck. We gave this away. We did whatever. That now there's 64,000 people who are pumped. And then there's you who's just in disbelief.
It sucks.
So it sucks for that guy.
It sucks. Just be on that side of it. That's just
What are the
Sit there
sidelines?
for
You
like an
guys all
idiot.
got on the field.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. So
Let's
like
hear about this.
I'm turned when I seen this. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know, I'm jumping and stuff, and I'm like, hold on. There's still 10 seconds on the clock. And so I'm like, oh shit. Guys, get the hell off the field. You know, I mean, this is sick, but like, yo, we got one more play, maybe 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody get off the field. Like, so I'm like, I'm trying to like enjoy the moment, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, like, I'm grabbing dudes. I'm like, get the heck on the sideline. Like, get off the field, bro. Like, we can get called like for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good, bro. Like, get off the field right now. And so, like, finally everybody gets off the field, but like, bro, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, on the inside, I'm like, holy cow. Like, thank goodness. Because for a moment there, I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
We just came out of this long-ass drive. We let up a
3rd and
weak
13.
touchdown, bro. Yeah. Bro, there was like
There was a penalty that they got. What was that penalty? They said it was delay a game, and they said they got the timeout in time.
Yeah.
I haven't got that far on the rewatch on the broadcast, but everyone at home was texting me they did not get that time off in time. So it should have been like, in their opinion at least, it should have been 3rd and 17 even.
Oh, wow.
Instead of 3rd and 12. But like,
Honestly, I
crazy.
don't remember seeing that.
It's a
But, like,
crazy
bro,
drive.
That drive, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. All that work and like we're locked in, bro, and like, you know, I played it perfect. And like, I mean, hey, you know, I'm not gonna point any fingers. I'm not even gonna mention him. But like, you know, on a play that touchdown shouldn't have happened, truthfully. But it did. And so I'm coming off on me, bro. That I did everything I could. And I'm pissed because they got a touchdown off of it. You know what I'm saying? And then like that's when I started getting, you know, like the whole, you know, I gotta believe. I have to manifest this. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, nobody else will, right? And that's when I changed my mindset and everything. So then, now I'm pumped. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank goodness that you guys just saved their ass. Because typically, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and like be in an hour. Like, defense typically saves the game.
Go SMU. We pointed a lot of big games this
All our
year.
wins, even like last year. You know what I'm
Even
saying? All
last
our
year, you
wins
had to
last
lean on that defense.
right? And like, man, like in a way, it's kind of like, whoa, like it was like reassurance that like, you know what, like we got a badass offense, man. We got playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just some fluke. You know,
Finesse offense out there. Like, no, they're
really,
in the crunch.
Exactly. And some of our best ball, man, like if you go back and look at all our film and you put it together, all our, big plays, all our, stuff like that, it's all complementary football, right? It's defense, getting off field, putting the offense into good field position, or like our punt return, score off of that, and then defense come out, go crazy, and then the offense comes in, gets good field position, scores like Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
That first, that middle eight, it was all complimentary football, all of it, and look how that happened. You know what I'm saying? Every time that happens, we do great, and so like. That's been the trend of this season so far, and that's why our team is making plays majority of times. But like when we're not doing that, hence like the last part of the Oklahoma State game, that's when it's like, whoa, that's cool. That's really cool to see.
It can still
You know what I'm
happen.
saying? It can still happen.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, man, we finally got everybody off the field. Going back, I keep getting sidetracked. Finally get everybody off the field, man. And I look up at the clock and there's 10 seconds left. I'm like, all right, man, like, we got to lock in. Defense, like, because they have the talent, they have the skill. They've already proved it.
Yeah.
They can, hey, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So we're all, like, standing there in the huddle like, yo, like, everybody just kind of looked at each other like, let's lock in for 2 more plays. Max, just 2 more.
Who's speaking at this time? Or is it just you guys talking to each
we're all
other?
just kind of like, we're all just like looking at each other and nodding, like, all right, we got you. I got your back. Like, we locked in. And then boom, next thing you know, they have that first play. I forgot what happened. I think it was an incomplete pass to our sideline.
Yeah, Darius on the sideline.
Wait. No, I'm saying the defensive.
The last defensive plays.
Plays. Yeah. Okay.
So it was the second last play. It was an incomplete pass to our sideline. And then it was the last play, man.
They dump it off.
They started pulling out some stuff, and I was like, that's not going to work. As soon as I seen it, as soon as I see Ollie Gordon catching the flag, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over, 100%. And they threw it back to the field, and Swerve came in. Jacob Robinson came in, took his knees out. It's over. Game's done. And then, like, bro, I was just so, like, emotionally and mentally fatigued at that point. That like I was so excited about us, and I was so happy, but like, bro, I just like kind of sat there and I was like smiling, I was happy, but like it was weird, bro. I just kind of wanted to take it all in, and I'm like seeing it was like weird, like it was like out of body experience. Like I'm looking around, everybody's going crazy, man. Like some of the guys are jumping into the student section, like Darius was getting like was crowd surfing, saying he even came into locker room and went crowd surfing with the team, bro. It was crazy, man. It was just like it was a cinematic moment for me, and so like it was cool, bro. It was a cool way, it was a cool memory. We finally got our get back. I wore black Air Forces to the game, and typically I don't like to rebel against what we got going on. Everybody's supposed to wear the same things. Everybody wears the same shoes, but this week I was like, nah, I'm wearing my Forces, man, because I'm getting my get back.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before, I lost to them at Boise State by like what? 1 point?
We said 1 point.
Yep, 20.
Right?
20.
And then last year they made us
overtime.
bowl ineligible, right? And we lost them in double overtime or something.
Double
like
overtime.
that, and like in one of the most unfortunate ways. But hey, we don't need to talk about that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so they got the best of me twice.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, to end my career, like I'm glad I got your ass.
You got the last laugh.
That last one. And if it's funny because if you watch on the TV copy, because I watch the film normally twice, and then I'll watch a TV copy, like I've said on the show before. I got to the TV copy, and I was watching the whole thing, man. And it was at that 1 minute and 30-second mark when they just scored a touchdown and everything. You see their sideline, because the camera goes to them, right? You see them all hugging each other, dabbing each other up, saying, I love you, bro. Like, I told y'all we would come in here and do this. Like, you see them literally say that, like, going, you know what I'm saying, like, talking their shit. And then next thing you know, boom, 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 touchdown. Right? And then they go back to the sideline, they're all just,
can't believe it.
like, sick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dad just came out and shot that new puppy.
Literally.
Right on the lawn.
Boom, like that. Didn't even tell you it was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it was just a little sweet for me, truthfully. And, like, like I said, I come every week with like, you know, a mentality to, you know, impose my will, you know, and truthfully, like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to get into it. But this week, it just had a little bit more of a chip on my shoulder with that. You know what I'm saying? A little more edge. And so that's why that win was just so much more sweet. And that's what, I'm saying this because that's what was going through my mind at that last play when it was all done. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this built up mental aspects of it, like the feelings and everything just kind of like hit me. Right? So it's super cool. Super cool. What a blessing to win, man. But truthfully, like, I believe if we did what we were supposed to do in a lot of those plays, man, if we kept our eye control, if we, you know, once again, if we were just elite with the pre-snap, truthfully,
Egg
you know,
fall.
egg fall. If we're going by the egg fall, man, I feel like a lot of those plays wouldn't even been a thing. In fact, I feel like it wouldn't even been a close game.
Yeah.
Right? Because we proved it before. When we do our assignment and we do our 111th, we're good. But when you start making up your own stuff, or like we don't change certain things, we don't adapt.
Or you just guess.
Exactly. Like that's not good football. That's not sound football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you go up against like a team that's very well coached, or like a coach who knows every single scheme, knows how to play against it, has seen it before more times than honestly you probably ran it.
Yeah.
Or played it, like, man, you can't just do that.
Dude, my first year's OC, we play Springville High. They are a 4-3, cover 1, cover 3 team. They bring 7 guys most of the time. More often than not, they're bringing 7. And they just impose their will. It's high school ball. You can kind of bully people if you got a few athletes, you know.
Yeah.
I played against these guys in high school, coached against these guys for years, and now it's my turn to be the OC. And like, all right, how you gonna scheme it up against them? We put together probably the best game plan I've ever put together. We go out and we have like 480 yards of offense, you know, all this stuff. One of the main things we would do is we'd run 4 verts, which is automatic cover 3, cover 1 killer, right?
Yes,
like you got a backer who's got to run free with this. It's not going to work.
Slot, it's
not going to work. And then we would, instead of going, because in the past we always would try to like match force with force and go 7-man pro, 6-man pro, something to like stop them. I was like, nah, dude, we're going to run 4 verts and we're going to run our running back on a little flare route. It's a little different than a swing, right? Flare out. You know the difference, but. And then we're going to dump it to him if there's pressure. If they bring someone, we'll dump it to him, because guess who's accounting for that guy? Nobody. And so we had a couple 40, 50-yard plays on that.
Okay.
And so the next year, and the spring, and I'm not trying to disrespect Springville, they had a very good coaching staff at it. But we caught them. We caught them that year. We're like, we got you guys. Yep. Big game. Next year we come out. They never change. Like they always run their stuff. They're into this.
Yep.
They come out, 3-man front.
Oh
shoot. We don't play a lot of cover 1, cover 3 teams who at 7. We've prepped all week. We're going to beat these guys how we beat them last year. Yeah. They never brought more than 3 guys the whole game.
The whole game, huh?
They played cover 4 with a 3-man front, 2 guys in the flats. Like all this, they took away everything we did. Huh? And I was like, dang, that's a good coach.
How was the run game against that?
Well, so run game was fine.
I was going to say.
But it wasn't our strength. Our strength, our playmakers were at receiver, right? That's where our and our talent was significantly different from the first year to the second year too. But I was like confident as an OC, I'm like, I know these guys.
Right.
Like
I kind of have to
almost have 500 yards offense on these guys last year. I'm going to get them this. So we did. We went 2 backs and said, hey, we dare you to check back into this, and they didn't. They just stuck to their game plan, played zone, rallied, tackled really well, played discipline, which like the year before they caught them doing dumb crap. Yeah. And I was like, dang, well, hats off. That's a good freaking coach who made a killer adjustment on me and made me look like a fool like that. So like, dude, that's the game of football, man.
It really is,
like,
bro.
Like,
this ain't checkers, man. This is chess.
It's chess.
You know what I'm saying?
And Gundy's a pro, dude. And like Gus Malzahn, the coach you're playing this week, that guy's had a lot of success at a lot of places.
Wasn't he at like Auburn for a while?
He won a natty at Auburn.
Yep.
Dang.
Won a natty. He's Cam Newton's coach at Auburn.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay, see,
offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator, thank you. But
same.
Yeah.
Well, not the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I'm saying he's a good coach.
Exactly. And it's a great challenge. And that's why I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, like, I don't care if we have the third string quarterback and second string quarterback. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? These guys are good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like some freaky talent, freak athleticism, and like it's a Big 12, man. It's college football.
Yep.
Anything can hit. If you're not ready for it, anything can hit.
Ask Alabama.
Like they have no business losing to some teams.
Not to Vandy.
Vandy.
Yeah.
And
No
Tennessee's
business.
good, but I think they've got as good
I
or better
agree.
talent.
I think they have. In my opinion, I think they have better talent.
I do
Just
too.
watching their film and seeing like position wise, like on all phases.
Tennessee wanted it more, baby.
Yeah. And that's the thing about college football.
And you
bro.
can't let UCF want it more, dude.
Can't.
Because once you like, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yep.
Now everyone is talking. Oh, BYU, they beat 2 ranked teams and they're undefeated and this and that and this and like that's awesome. Like deserve the praise, everything like that. But
Of course.
but with that is a big target.
Yes.
It's like,
Huge target.
you're hitting some bumps in your season. You want to set your season right? Go beat BYU.
Yeah.
Let's go all in on
Literally.
this. Want
Like
it
this
more.
year's Super Bowl. Especially guys who like have nothing to lose.
The most dangerous guy.
This is, bro, the most dangerous because they're like, you know what, man? Like, we going out there, as long as we win this game, at least our season meant something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we are the biggest fish in the water, man. Like, you go fishing, who wants a little guppy? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm going for I want the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? And, like, if I get one fish, at least I get the biggest one, the baddest one, right?
Mm-hmm. You fish
So-
all day and you only catch one, but
It better be the best one, right? So in those regards, man, I love that, honestly. I think it's so good because it makes it so that it could go to people's heads.
it could.
It can. However, though, in my mind, I think in the mind of the majority of our team, in fact, majority of our team, it's kind of like, okay, that's the bigger the target, the bigger the challenge. And it makes it so that, okay, we got to come different this week than we did last week. We got to become better than we were last week. And it shows in a lot of ways, in a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially with our starters, like, that's everybody's mentality. Everybody's mentality, like, man, especially our veterans is too.
That's the
That's
thing.
the thing. It's the veterans, man. Like, I'm not saying the young guys aren't doing their stuff because they're doing
They're
their
great.
thing, bro.
Yeah, they're
doing
playing.
their thing.
They're playing great.
They're doing great. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying just in regards to the veterans on the team, which is the majority of our team, of our starters, you know what I'm saying? It means some, and because we played so much ball, we've experienced seasons, we've experienced winning seasons, we all experienced a losing season.
Yeah.
And we know how that losing season works, right? And it's well, like I say every week, it's brought us to this mindset where like, all right, like it's a challenge. Come on, bring it on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That positive outlook. And so that entitlement, that like people being satisfied with where we're at, I don't see that being truthfully like I don't see that being like a collective mindset whatsoever. You know what I'm saying?
It can be a really exciting and fun win and close that game. I think everyone on the BYU side, fans, players, coaches, they all enjoyed the way that game ended.
Yeah.
But then it's like a few hours after that, you start to think, dang, like we made some mistakes. We did this, we did that. And I haven't got the vibe from anyone I've talked to on the team or around the team that people are like pumped right now. It's like, no, dude, we got to lock in to be better.
Yeah.
And that's
But
good.
that business, man, that's how it needs to be. That's how it should be. Of course, you want to go have fun and you're grateful for the opportunity, right? And that's the thing that's cool is that, like, I don't believe that a lot of people are stressed about the undefeated part of it. Like, that's cool and all, but truthfully, like, I'm not trying to be cheesy when I say this, but it really comes down to, like, the 1-0 aspect of it. Everybody just wants to be 1-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even, other than, like, the podcast, like, I don't talk about last week at all.
Right.
We don't talk about the game before whatsoever. And like the things that are crazy, things that happen, like, the Darius catch, Kansas State, all these different games where we've done some crazy stuff. Baylor, like, but we knew this. You know what I'm saying? We know that this is what we're going to do this year. This is what we're supposed to do, right? I mean, we've worked for it.
Yeah.
So it's that mentality of going 1-0, man, and that's what's been the most successful for us. It's what's truthfully keeping that humble and hungry mindset
Yeah.
going.
So have you played in Florida before?
I have twice.
Twice.
So my freshman year, 2019, went down to Tallahassee,
Okay.
Florida State, right? That's where.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went down there, played them, won, by the way. And then I went to Orlando, 2021. It was the first game of the season, and your boy racked up 2 sacks
There we go.
on Dylan Gabriel. However, we lost.
That was 3 teams ago for Dylan Gabriel. Is that right?
Literally, yeah. Yeah, because after that, he went to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then to
That was
Oregon.
at Oregon. Yep. But anyways, yeah, that was the last time I played in Florida. So
So you play well in Florida. And it's a day game, which is my guy's
and guess
optimal
what?
time.
It's another get back game for me. And I'm telling you, man, this week, like same, if not even a more intentional mentality than I came with last week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this game is personal for me as well. There's just one story, man. I don't mean to make this like, you know, religious or anything, but there's this one story of like, what was it? The army of, not the army of Helaman. It was all the young guys.
Stripling Warriors.
Stripling Warriors, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Was it them? And they like went on like Kalani shared this story with us last year.
Okay.
Of like this army in the scriptures who, you know, went through different cities. I'm not exactly sure how it goes, but they went through all these different, you know, cities and environments and like, oh no, what it was every kingdom kept denying them. You know what I'm saying? Of like helping them against other enemies and stuff like that. Kept denying them, no. And then their families started getting killed, like their environment, and communities were getting killed, and they're like, all right, we're coming back for you. And they went back to the next person, they asked for help, they said, nah, we're not gonna help you. They said, all right, well, we'll come back for you. And then they went to another kingdom, asked them for help. Didn't receive help again. They're like, all right, bet, we'll come back for you. So once they went all the way back home, finished the war, won the war, they went back to every single kingdom that said they turned them away and took them over. You know what I'm saying? I forgot exactly what the story was like pertaining to and who it was in it, but Klein shared this with us last year.
Yeah.
When we were losing. And he's like, man, like I'm telling you, like this is what's gonna happen. We gonna come back and, you know, we gonna essentially get our get back against these fools. Right? At the end of the season, he's like, we're getting our get back against these fools.
I'll tell you what, A-Rod has done remarkably well calling against repeat teams. Like you look at Baylor 2021, we go there, we really Puka made some big plays, and we had some, you know, had some individual plays that were nice. But putting together a complete, solid, sustaining drives, consistent offense, we struggled. We really did. Then Baylor comes to LES the next year, and we played really well. I mean, it ended up going to overtime and things, but we moved the ball between the 20s really, really well. Missed some field goals that made it go to overtime. But I several times, I'm trying to think back to like when they started 5-0 in the pack. There's a couple teams we faced for a second time. And I was like, oh, A-Rod was like ready for this. Like, I think Kalani, especially, you know, Kalani's helped with the D his whole time here, and A-Rod's been helping with the either as pass game coordinator or OC for a while. I think those two and the whole staff really are really good with that. Like they get a look, they see what people like to do. They do this. They're really good at learning from their mistakes and adapting and getting those, coming back and getting revenge.
That's what I'm saying, right? And so like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to get mine against ECF. I need to, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll worry about the rest of them later on. But this week, man, I'm getting my get back this week, man. I'm telling y'all right now, regardless of what it is, man. What the weather's like, I'm getting mine, and I know we all are gonna get ours too.
Yeah.
But on a personal basis, you know, I mean, shit, this is my show, right? Like, I'm gonna say like this is personal for me too, again, and you know, I'm happy it is. You know, it's making things interesting. It's, you know, like makes it more fun for me a little.
For
bit,
sure,
right?
dude. And it's the final ride, man.
Exactly.
It's like,
and just like in the story, man, I'm coming back. This last time around, man, I'm coming back for all of it.
you ever see Tombstone?
No.
Movie Tombstone, when Wyatt Earp, they kill his brother, and he's like, grabs the shotgun. He's like, tell him I'm coming, and I'm bringing hell with me. It's like, whoo. Ooh.
Kind of like
It's got
that
the vibes, man.
Yeah,
It's
for
got those
sure.
vibes.
Dude, yeah, literally, man. That's how I'm feeling. And guess what? I'm gonna pull up in some Black Forests once
There we go.
again. You gonna see it.
You guys
see
fly
it,
out
man.
Thursday, right? Because it's a
Yeah.
2 time zone deal.
Yeah. How far is a flight?
So I did it in April for work.
Okay.
And dude, it feels longer than it is just because when you land, you've not only burned up, is it 3.5 hours in the air, 4 hours in the air, something like that, but it's also 2 time zones later.
Yeah.
So I swear I left at like 1 or something, and I got there and like I had to rush to make dinner with the executives there. Right. So it's like, I left like at lunchtime. I got there, it was like late dinner, getting dark when we like met up for dinner. So it felt like the whole day, even though it was like 4 hours or something, 3.5 hours.
That's a long flight.
But I did like a Thursday, flew out Thursday, had dinner, went to bed in Florida, woke up, did training all day, and then caught a flight in the afternoon and came home.
Okay.
Not the way to do it.
Not at all. Huh?
Flying out on a Thursday to play on a Saturday is
Smart, huh?
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because you just like don't know what the heck your body is like. And I'm not going to do anything athletic.
Right.
I'm just standing up presenting, but you're still your mind and your body. You're just not right.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean that makes sense. Truthfully, I'm glad we're going on Thursday too.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough because it makes it like in a way kind of like a short week,
Yes.
right? Like we're preparing similar to how we did last week for Oklahoma State, just with like our practice schedule, stuff like that, right? I mean, obviously we shifted it back to our normal times, but like, you know, that's the only tricky part about it, and so that's why it's so important to be urgent this week in our preparation. You know what I'm saying? It's so important to be urgent with it, man. It's like, anyways, because like if you're not, look what happened last week. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we did bad, but I'm saying like that's not our standard.
You didn't hit.
It's not our standard.
You didn't hit your standard.
Right? So I think that's the cool part about last week is that everybody kind of seen this. Like, okay, I see what we need to do. You know?
Yeah.
And so yeah, man. I'm excited for this game, bro. It'll be a good one. You're gonna be there.
Oh yeah.
You're obviously not gonna be there. No.
Yeah. I'm going with the real serious crazy partiers too.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, going with the owners of Chubby's.
Yes.
And we need to shout them out.
Time out before you go. Shout out Chubby's and Orem, the best in the business, man. Still working on that surprise for y'all, but I'm telling you, it's coming.
It's very close.
It's very close, and y'all gonna love it.
It's gonna be a delicious surprise.
I like that. A delicious surprise. But anyways.
So you know the Will and Aaron, the partiers.
Oh yeah.
I actually was partying with them this weekend in Bear Lake.
Really?
Went up to Bear Lake,
Nice.
their place up there.
Actually, I feel like he told me that, or you told me that.
I might have. It was
think
really
you told me
nice
that.
though. It was a
That
good
is sick.
time, and my kids loved it too. And,
Bear Lake, huh?
yeah, have you been? Oh, we'll have to hit it up soon.
Absolutely. Where is it? I've heard good things.
So
about
you've been to Logan to play
Yeah.
football. So once you're in Logan, you go right past campus. You go up the canyon, and then you climb a bunch of elevation, and you come out, and there's a massive lake on the Utah-Idaho border, and it's beautiful. Like it's a big old lake and tons of stuff to do there. It's like a big summer getaway for a bunch of people in Utah. Like
Nice.
St. George, kind of the winter getaway. Bear Lake is kind of the summer getaway. We went to. I don't want to shout anyone out without them promoting the podcast. We went to a nice place for dinner. Like we had a really good time, and got my kids. Dude, Reagan went and got on the lake. It was like it was a little cold, but
Really?
yeah, kids had a good time.
Wow,
So it was
nice.
fun. It's about as close to the beach vibes as you get in Utah.
That's fair.
So,
I'm gonna have to hit up someday, man.
well, I know some people who will probably let you crash at their place up there.
That'd be pretty sick.
So, yeah.
Dang. But anyways, you're heading down to Orlando with them.
And Troy, you know
And
Troy.
Nice.
If there's a party animal out there,
Oh yeah.
it's Troy. So I think it would be
Yes,
Kelly and
sir.
I. And so it's a very rambunctious group, but
That's cool.
yeah, I'm
That'll be
heading
fun,
out there.
man.
It'll be a good time.
That will be a good time. My mom's going to that game.
Oh, really? Maybe I can say hi.
Yeah, you'll have to. Absolutely. She'll be there, and my stepdad gonna be there, so you'll get to meet them.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, they're great people. You gonna love them.
I think
Yeah.
Trey's got half of South
I was
DeKalb,
gonna say,
Southwest
dude,
DeKalb
that
High
guy
School
has-
ahead of there.
Bro, he's been asking so many people for tickets. Although I need to get hella tickets too. I think my aunt is actually coming down too. My aunt and
Because
uncle.
they're on the East Coast, right?
So my mom and
Oh.
my mom is she because she lives in North Carolina.
Sister's not?
No.
Oh, I thought
My
she
sister's
was.
still in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she lives in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Yeah. But yeah, my aunt, she lives in Alberta still, and she gonna fly out.
Cool.
So yeah, she gonna be there too, man. It'll be cool, man. It'll be good vibes. You know, it's cool when I play out there because my mom doesn't get to come to many games
Yeah.
because the travel's so long and so expensive too. You know what I'm saying? So she came to my last UCF game in 2021. You know, I mean, I had one of the best games I've had in my career when she was there. So hopefully she gets to see it again. But this time, you know, catch a dub with it. You know.
That's right.
So I'm excited, man. It'll be cool. It'll be cool. And then she'll actually come up to the Utah game and what was the one right after it? Kansas?
ASU.
No.
Utah, Kansas, ASU, Houston. Is that right? Well, that
I thought it was Kansas first, but
it could be.
could be mistaken.
I think it's Kansas.
Maybe it's Kansas.
Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, then Houston.
And Houston will be your senior night.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
It'll be my second senior night. Did you know I walked last year?
Dude, like, you know, like Mason Wake and I are like tight. Like,
Yeah.
he's one of my main guys. He walked,
Okay.
and then he was like, I'm coming back. And then he ended up just at fall camp. He's like, dude, like, doctors say this. He made his decision to medically retire.
Right.
And I was just glad he walked. So I don't hold against anyone. Walk twice. Hell, walk 3 times
Right.
if you can get away with it,
Yeah.
right? Like, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Because you just never know.
Right. Absolutely. Truthfully, like I didn't know I was even gonna come back. Truthfully, this year.
Right.
You know. So
What's
I
this?
took
Get
the
the
choice.
schedule, Kev?
Yeah,
Take
it's
a
Utah,
chance.
Kansas, ASU, then
Houston.
yeah.
Utah, Kansas, ASU, Houston.
Yeah, so she gonna be there for that Utah and Kansas game. But yeah, man, it'll be good vibes down in Orlando.
It should
Heard
be.
the weather wasn't gonna be greatest, but I mean, you know, I'm not worried about it. I am not worried about it, man. We can be playing a freaking
Hurricane.
hurricane.
And you've done that, right?
Yep, literally, bro. I've played in everything. You name it, I played in everything. You know. Yeah, and then on to bye week number 2 after this week, which, you know, like I said, I don't like to talk about, you know, stuff in the future too much, look too far ahead. But having a second bye week is insane.
Yeah.
I've never had that before. It is crazy to me.
Man, it's BYU for most of that independence era. I feel like we get bye weeks like week 9 or 10, and that was it. And it's
It's so
just like
crazy.
grind.
It's grind.
Just the nature of having to schedule a lot of your better games early and then
Yeah.
playing other games late.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dude. I think it'll be good because, you know, before, well, it was right after our Baylor game,
Mhm.
because we went into the bye week that next week, right?
Mhm.
We're like, all right, we went 4-0 basically this first part of the season. And then our next goal was to go 3-0 for these games. And obviously, you know, that what happens after bye week will come. But anyways, that's what we're trying to see them as, just little seasons.
just kind of chunk it out.
Exactly. You're breaking it up by chunks, right? And it's cool because like you kind of look at it like, man, well, you know, when you look at it that way, like you only have 3 opportunities. It's a 3-game season. You know what I'm saying? That's how you look at it, and like that's how you prepare for, you know. And it's kind of cool, you know, because it kind of relieves all the pressure. I feel, not all of it, but a lot of it, right? But also in the same way gives you more motivation, and also helps you be in the moment, 10 toes down. Truthfully, helps you be where your feet are. So it's really cool, man. I like that that part of it, and but yeah, this little part of the season, man, we're just trying to do our best and go 1-0 every week, and the goal is obviously to be 3-0, but the most important thing is 1-0.
What's the forecast?
81 degrees at kickoff. It'll be 75
Oh,
That's
not bad.
beautiful.
when it ends.
told you that?
Cloudy. I don't know, dude. You're
Somebody
listening
told-
to the wrong people.
It was a reporter today. After
It
when I,
It's probably Batty. You can't trust that
no,
guy.
it was one of the reporters today. I forgot his name.
Oh.
Today after practice told me. I was like, maybe it was a reporter. Somebody told me that. But anyways, well, hey, good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Nice, good football weather.
dude, good football weather. Get out of some cold late night
Grass
kickoffs
field?
and grass field, I believe.
Grassfield, yeah, I'm pretty sure Grassfield.
Yeah.
I mean, it better be because I've been practicing with my screw ins all week.
Yeah.
So far. Yesterday, today. So
How often you get new cleats?
I mean,
Once you break them in, it's kind of hard to get away from them sometimes.
yeah, but at the same time, like, man, I be getting like new ones almost every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Every 2, maybe every 3. Yeah, man, it's just because the grass. First of all, I like to look clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, when I'm out there, and the grass and the paint really messed up my cleats. You know what I'm saying? After like a 1 week, like, bro, I got new cleats last week, and they look like I've had them for a month already. Like, bro, I played 1 game in these. I haven't even practiced in these, right? So it's kind of like, gotta get new ones, man. You know,
Yeah.
and because it is my last year, I'm a veteran. I play quite a bit. They're like, all right, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, for other guys, they're kind of just like, hey, man, those are your cleats this year, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you rip through them,
Tough luck.
I mean, shoot. Yeah, you might get 1 extra pair, but that's it.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying? But like, yeah, bro, I got. And plus, like, I want to get my own cleats too, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like eventually, like this season, I want to get like just plain all royal blue cleats. You know, because as long as they're the same cleats as I normally wear, and they're Nike, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Right? So, and like some dudes be getting like cleats online and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get me some.
I showed you design.
You did?
Yeah.
I liked them.
Yeah.
I liked them a lot.
I might have to pull the trigger on those.
I
I think they're hand painted, so it takes them a minute to get made.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, we might have to pull the trigger on those.
I agree.
So
Because those were sweet.
those were sweet.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look into that. But yeah, bro, that's the cleat situation.
Yeah.
You know, I still have yet to get any pink for this month. I've been trying to, bro, but I just can't find nothing that I like.
Yeah. They're not giving you anything from the team?
Nah, I don't know why, but like,
Because in the past they have given towels or tape or something, or like they taped everybody up, wrists up or something. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It might be a thing with like Nike right now.
it could be too.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Right, but anyways, yeah. The whole gear thing. You know, I try to have my own type of drip.
Yeah.
I have my own on-field drip. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own, I feel, and it has to work with your body type, right? Because like some people can wear like if an offensive lineman came out dressing like a wide receiver, can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be. You just can't do it.
They got to show up in their work boots.
Yeah.
Your blue collar.
Nah, offensive linemen. Some offensive linemen can have drip. It's just not the same type of drip. It's just different, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some dudes like have like the high thigh pants. You know what I'm saying? Or like the thigh pads in their pants, and like, you know, what the knee braces and like the arm shit and like, you know, stuff like that. Like, okay, you look tough, man. You look good for you. That's some drip. Some dudes don't care. They just come in, you know, no socks, no sleeves, just shirt tucked and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that.
Dude, Under Armour became a thing. Or you know, the anti-abrasive, but the brand was Under Armour. When I was in high school, that became like popular. They had the whole "we must protect this house" commercials, and it became like this thing, right?
Tall ass cleats.
Yeah. And couple of my buddies bought these long sleeve Under Armour shirts or wear under their pads.
Yeah.
And we're playing the cold game. It's in Spanish Fork. It's snowing. And our coach played in the NFL for a bunch of years. And he sees them in their brand new things, like they're looking all nice and neat, their long sleeve things. And I mean, at the time, these things were like $70. Like they weren't cheap, $80. And this is in 2004. So it was like, that was a lot of money back then, right? Like it's a lot of money now, but it's a lot of money back then. And he walks over and he's like, "Oh, linemen aren't a bunch of," I won't say everything he said, but they don't dress like this. They don't act like this. He reaches over, he grabs the sleeves and he rips one of the sleeves right off the kid.
I'd be sick.
Right off the kid. I was like 4 or 5 feet away. I was like, because I was just like, man, hey, dude, how much was that? Where'd you get that? That looks nice. And it is snowing. Like that might be, you know, my snow gear before that was like wear a hoodie under my pads.
Right.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
no
Oh,
drip,
yeah, I
no
know.
drip.
That's crazy.
And it
man.
looked nice, and then like 15 minutes later, it's like tattered, ripped up on the floor. Like,
like holy
so
smokes.
yeah, yeah.
That's so crazy, dude. Dude, those snow games, man, you gotta layer up sometimes. I remember I was playing this blizzard. It was my junior year of high school. I think like the second last game of the year, third last game of the year. In Canada at this point, it's full winter. You're in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking blizzards and
Frozen ground.
oh yeah, bro. Like I'm talking like after like every drive, like dudes were on there shoveling the field. Like I'm talking taking a shovel out there and
Clearing the
shoveling.
lines.
Yeah, clearing the lines. Like after every drive, not every quarter, not halftime, every drive. And so, anyways, just pouring snow. If you ever look at my high school tape, you'll see it. You can see how it's just pouring snow. But like the unfortunate part about that actually too is, side note, I can only take certain film from when the storm was cooling down during the game for my highlight reel. Because the other plays, other quarters, all you see is just white. all you see is snow, man. Just some figures running around. That's it.
I got a
'Cause it's so
sweet,
bad.
I got a sweet TFL. You gotta trust me though. You
I
can't-
swear I did.
swear.
Yeah, I swear it's there. So I can only pick and choose some of the ones. Yeah. But anyways, why I bring this up, because in that game, typically I like to be the badass guy. Like I don't need any sleeves, and so I usually go out there with no sleeves on, no nothing, right? But bro, this game was like, I think it was like minus 38, minus 40, bro. I'm talking, it was freezing, but like bad. And like honestly, if you're out there, you're insane. And so, bro, I'm out there warming up. I can't feel my fingers. My fingers are frozen. I can't feel them. You know what I'm saying? My toes are frozen already. I have 2 pairs of socks on. Like I'm talking thick socks, right? I have 2 pairs of thick socks on. I have like 2 pairs of compression pants on, like the warm ones, the hyper warm ones, whatever. And I had a long sleeve compression shirt on. I had a long sleeve shirt on top of that, and then I was wearing a hoodie as well. And I'm still freezing, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm a kid at this point. I'm like, man, I don't give a damn if I can't feel my fingers. Like I'm gonna go out there and hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like this is exactly what I did. But like I remember like the first drive on defense, there's like a fly to my side to the boundary. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this, man. I go to wrap up and I try to grab him, and I
Can't feel it.
Literally, my fingers just wouldn't. I couldn't feel my fingers, and so it's like I wrap up and I just slide off him. You know what I'm saying? Like he runs out of bounds. But I'm like, bro, what the heck? This is some serious stuff, man. Like you gotta be crazy about here, man. I'm like, well, it's a good thing I'm a crazy son of a gun sometimes, you know. But yeah, bro,
I bet you I've played in
that cold drip is different.
30-degree cold. Not minus 30. Like I'm talking
Oh,
below
okay. I was gonna
below
say,
freezing.
this is-
30-degree cold.
Well,
Maybe 25, maybe.
Celsius and Fahrenheit's the same when it gets below 0, right?
So 0 is freezing in Celsius, and minus or 32 degrees is freezing
Is it?
in Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
still
No, you're good.
I'm still adjusting.
No,
you
you're
know
good.
what I'm saying?
I
But,
couldn't
like,
tell you. Dude, I remember going to Italy one year, and it was hot. I went to Italy for an exchange thing. I was like, oh man, it's hot. And I asked them like, hey, what's the temperature? And they're like, it's like 60 something. I can't remember what it was. I was like, the hell it is. Like
Right.
it is hot. I
It
could.
is
On the
crazy.
other end, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, like, so I can't tell you what's warm or what's not. Like,
Yeah. The whole metric.
I got to pull up a conversion.
right?
Us Americans.
But it was minus 4 degrees Celsius.
There you go.
Which
Which is
sorry.
still really
go.
cold.
Oh, it's freezing.
Yeah.
It is like they're sending alarms out like on your phone saying like don't go outside.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, don't go outside. There's like a bad freeze warning, you know, like
We'll go play a football game.
let's go play some football, man. You know what I'm saying? It is against our rivals. It was just like one of the craziest games I've
You
ever
like take
been
your
part of.
helmet off and it's all the steam.
Oh yeah.
And then you leave your helmet. Like I used to leave my helmet on in the cold games
Yeah.
because you leave it off for a little bit and it freezes.
Freezes. And it's like, oh my gosh.
And you,
try
like,
to put that thing back on.
Force that sucker on and it's
Yes.
frozen.
Yes.
Whew.
Bro, it's crazy, man. And that was like that was like the last third of the season, typically.
Yeah.
Like every
Yeah.
year in Canada, bro. Or maybe I'll say last quarter. You know, that right before that last quarter though, it starts getting cold, boy. Whew, man.
So are you gonna live in Canada? Is that what's the long term play here?
I don't know, man. You know, like, cause I have my residency here. Soon I'll have my full citizenship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dual citizenship. And like, I never honestly thought that life would take me to
Provo, Utah.
Utah. I honestly never even thought my life would take me to Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know where life is gonna take me, man. You know, I think regardless if it's here in the United States or in Canada.
Well, your
Hey, it's where I'm
profession may
supposed to be.
dictate where you live for a while too.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? So yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, my whole life is here. I mean, shoot, my team is here. My career is literally in Provo, Utah. So, right? But like, I don't know, man. My whole life, life takes me everywhere, bro, since I was a little kid. So, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see, man. I might not even be on this continent.
You never know.
You never know. So, I'm excited to see, though.
Yeah.
Personally, like, right now, I would rather be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, all my connections are out here. You know, I feel like I've built a foundation out here, like a networking
Yeah.
foundation, especially, you know. I know a lot more people out here, I believe, in this country. And so, yeah, right now, I'd say fish out here.
But you
But
never
like
know.
I said, man, you never know. Shoot, you never know. So, yeah, I'm excited to see, though.
Kevin, same thing, man. Sooner or later here. When do you graduate, Kevin?
April.
April. Then you got to
Yep.
start making the decisions, and
Yeah.
Phoenix might be calling your name or anywhere,
Hope
somewhere.
so. Hope so.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Maybe we'll both live in Mapleton, Utah.
It's a nice little place.
It's a nice
It's not
place,
bad.
man. It's a nice place.
It's not bad.
It's a nice little, you know, it's a nice little town.
There's still a lot right
It's good
across the
vibes.
street. It's there.
I seen that.
Yeah.
I seen it.
You build a nice little pad there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like Utah, man.
Yeah.
The mountains obviously are beautiful, and you know, this is the thing with Utah, man. Is that like a lot of my connections are in Utah,
Mm-hmm.
right? A lot of potential future, well, I don't want to say assets, but like just like relationships, friends. You know what I'm saying? My friends are in Utah. My friends are from Utah. Some of my closest friends are, from Utah or live in Utah, and I've seen them living in Utah for a while. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like with that being said, I mean, and also too, my life is here. So I wouldn't mind coming back to it.
Dude, it's good to have a network. It's good to have good friends who you trust and who
Yeah.
have a skill set.
Yeah.
When the whole thing of like, hey, start Coup Connect, like do this whole thing, would not have happened if I didn't have friends who like were really good at what they did,
Yeah.
supported, knew about the relationships we had with the players, knew they really legitimately needed help, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Never would have happened without the friends networking aspect. So you have to keep that in mind. Like
Absolutely.
you have to know that.
Absolutely. And truthfully, like all that stuff is like important, but what it really comes down to is just like how I feel here, the
Mhm.
vibe. You know what I'm saying? And like I'll always want to come back to like BYU. I think I'll for sure want my kids to go to BYU.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like this, BYU is no joke, man. It is honestly the best case scenario. In my opinion, it really is. And like people can say whatever they want about it, whatever. Man,
And they do.
take your ass to BYU. Take your butt to BYU, sorry. Man, but truthfully, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, man, even if you're not playing football, not playing sports, just, man. So anyways,
Dude, when I went to UVU, right, because I'm a Wolverine,
right.
I would still tune in to you'll think I'm nerdy for this, and that's fine.
It's okay.
I
No
still tune
judgment.
into the Tuesday devotionals
Nice.
because I liked them. Like I liked just that vibe. And I didn't always stay tuned in. Sometimes I'd be like, listen, I'm not, this is what
Yeah,
I'm not.
okay.
But there's other times I tune, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's on the radio. You can listen to them on the radio or online. So I'd be sometimes in class or working and listening to them. But I was like, that's cool. Like that's just a cool element, another dimension.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff like that about BYU where you get this, there's a secular learning component, which is awesome and up there with pretty much any university in the country. It's definitely up there with it.
Yep.
But then there's also this like give you some depth and perspective and direction in your life of things that really matter, things that are really important, things that will bless you in other ways. Because we all know, like, you can be successful in a secular aspect and be miserable. And if you don't know that, you maybe watch more TV or whatever,
Right.
or get to know more people.
Come on.
Because it's very true.
It's very true.
And
100%.
but what those people are really searching for and all that stuff is kind of one of those things that BYU offers, which is like purpose, direction, fulfillment in those areas. So it's awesome.
Literally. 100%. It goes back to that light motivation versus dark motivation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get back into it.
Right.
But yeah, truthfully, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. It's beyond like things I can even sit here and explain.
We could go deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff that beyond you can even think of initially. You know?
Dude, not to like completely sidetrack this, but you talked about manifesting earlier.
Yeah.
Right. I happen to be getting certified in emotional intelligence, and
you said something about that earlier.
that's what I'm presenting on in 2 days. And I'm like trying to find some video clips, some things to just jazz up my presentation, because no one wants to hear my butt get up there and talk for 2 hours about science and stuff, like whatever.
Data.
So I'm trying to find this stuff, and you know, your brain has this part of your brain. It's called the reticular activation system, and it's what like when you. The example everybody gives whenever they talk about this in any way is you buy a new car and then you see that car everywhere, right?
Yes.
Basically, whatever you prime your brain and your subconscious to see, it will find. You can call it manifesting. You can call it the law of attraction. I think it is to that to some degree. I do think Heavenly Father gave us these powers of creation beyond just like...
Power of tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like, yeah.
That's a real thing.
And so, like, I think there's more powers of creation than we even realize that Heavenly Father's entrusted us with. Like, part of agency is having the power to do what you want with your own life, and the power to choose how to see things and what to do and what to be primed. And so, I don't know, man, you talk about manifestation, you talk about this light motivation, this dark motivation, you talk about this thing. And you and I have talked about, like, what you reap, you will sow, like all this different stuff. And, man, a lot of different things about getting better all kind of tie back into that. Your choice to choose what to see, how to see it, manifest it, law of attract it, or prime yourself for positivity. Like, there's a million books that will explain it to you in different ways, but it comes back to that same principle that you get to choose, you get to create.
Yeah. And literally, dude, it's crazy. And like, even if you want to bring it back, like, not bring it back, but like expand on that, like kind of like what you said, it's up to you. Like, it's all about choice too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I was sitting there today, and we're in our huddle, and after practice, just our defensive ends, and K-Pop was sitting there, man, like, he's saying like, man, it's the pain of regret or pain of discipline, right? And I've always, in my way of that is, you choose your heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a very real thing. I mean, and like, you can choose to sit here and be like, you know what, screw this, man. Like, I'm not playing. I don't really care about this team, whatever, you know, like, they're doing me wrong. And like, the more you start saying that, you know, you're choosing to say that, first of all, and you're starting speaking in reality. And I see it with so many guys. Shoot, I even have experienced it myself in a way throughout my career. You know what I'm saying? When you just focus on these things, you're choosing to focus on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when the moment you choose to flip the intention of what you're saying, the self-talk, you know, you start saying, you know what, I'm glad I even get to be here. Kind of like what we've talked about before, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm glad I even got the chance to be here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to choose to work my ass off every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to choose to, okay, I'm going to thrive in my role. This is me. You know what I'm saying? I might not be what I want right now, but that's the position I'm in right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to thrive in it. I'm going to be the best I can. And, like, that's so, like, whatever, my people. If you're watching this and you're saying, Isaiah, you're so corny, like, okay. But it's facts, all right? Yeah. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, man, it's true. And I think the most important part is, like, not just, yes, manifesting out loud, but manifesting internally. Speaking to yourself internally is like the most important part of it.
Dude, and some of it is just like science, like, oh, it's brain science, it's this, it's that. Some of it's more than that, dude.
Oh, it has to be.
Like,
100%.
There's a study, if you read the book The Happiness Advantage, I did training on it a while ago. He talks about a study where they give these different groups. They're both placebos.
Right.
Like no one is getting cancer treatment. They're getting two groups of placebos, but they like tell one group like, "Oh, you're getting this awesome cutting edge thing. Like the FDA is going to approve it. It's like it's curing cancer. Like
Yes.
nobody's business. This." And the other one, you sell them like you're taking this experimental drug, and we're not quite sure if it works well or not.
Works.
But
We tried.
we could try it out.
Yeah.
Well, which group do you think has more results in their cancer going away?
I assume the first one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that science? Maybe, but dude, like they chose to believe, oh, I'm getting this awesome thing. This is going to help me. This is for my benefit.
Yes.
Like this. And guess what? When you have those positive emotions, like the emotional intelligence stuff, when you have those positive emotions, that positive mindset, guess what? Your body produces entirely different chemicals and like different things happen. And like, I mean, I guess that goes back to science, but it feels like it's more than that.
Yeah.
It feels like it is this power to create thing there. We just
literally, yeah. I mean, it has to be, right? Just like how, like, yeah, dude, that's so crazy you say that, because I totally agree, man. That's like the people want to say like magic's not real. Kev, do you believe in magic?
100%.
Do you believe in magic?
absolutely.
Did you know?
I believe in magic too.
So, more gospel history, but so Joseph Smith used seer stones, right?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people freak out about,
Yeah.
that part. So, he's coming back from getting the gold plates, and there's like 3 different people that try and attack him. The people that knew where he was going to be used the seer stone to find him. Like, before, like, no modern technology, like people believed in magic, and magic was like a legitimate thing.
Like
but
it worked,
it's real.
right?
It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, maybe, because I'm a firm believer in science.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am. I feel like science was, I mean, everything you look at is science, technically, right? And like, however you believe about evolution, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I believe that God created, this equation, this formula that made everything to be like. Obviously, there's stories about how Jesus, how the world was created, whatever. But I can dive into that even more, honestly. But I'm just gonna keep it at the base level to explain my point, right?
Yeah.
Is that like science is a real thing. And like when you talk about how different chemicals are being created in your body and your mind, different hormones are released, and then therefore different habits, different feelings, emotions are the direct result of it. Like it's weird because you can't really put a finger to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Just like how at Lavelle Edwards, man, like
That's
Just-
magic.
Stuff just happens.
that's like magic in front of your eyes, truthfully. And like that's not even being dramatic. Like if you have been there for any of the home games this year, like you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like that's not even me over exaggerating anything, right?
Dude,
But it's stuff like that.
Have you heard the outsiders what they say about your team?
Nah.
Fluky.
Really?
They don't say magic. They know that shouldn't happen like that. Like
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. All these big plays. Like, but instead of being like, oh, they're disciplined, they're playmakers, it's magic, like whatever it is, it's just fluky.
Nah.
They can't put their finger on why it happens or what it is. They just call it
That's what I'm saying.
fluky. But they know, like, is this supposed to be happening? Like that's like
Yeah. And that's their choice to see it.
they see it that way. It's fluky.
That's their choice to see it that way. And they keep telling themselves that. They want to believe it, but hey, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, literally, and there's a lot of other ways to go about it. But even like in my sociology degree, man, like I essentially need to take scenarios that you can't typically put a number on. You can't make an equation of it, and you have to make a formula out of it, and you need to apply that formula to certain scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the probability, or like of, what's the probability of like us all sitting together, and talking about football? You know what I'm saying? Over, a 3-week span, some stuff like that. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you? But like that's the thing, right? And like, it's cool because it's allowed me to change my perspective on a lot of things. And like I told you before, when I was talking about somebody, and I was telling you like I'm observant. You know what I'm saying? I be peeping shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's from my sociology, experience, and like doing those things has changed my perspective into being more observant and seeing those things. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes you just can't put a formula to certain things.
Yeah.
You can't, but it just happens.
Well, dude,
See what I'm saying?
You want to go
That's
crazy
magic.
with it.
That
You
has
go
to.
crazy with it. Think about everything you know, and you learned it from all these experiences that happened to you. Some were probably you thought were good, some were probably bad, but all of it builds up to your collective knowledge and ability to communicate in this. And then it like you'll come into this room and it's like, oh, Isaiah's from Canada, like, Kevin like is a BYU student, like this, but like how do we all get here? Right? I don't know. Like Kevin give his insight and his experiences, you can give yours, like I can give mine. I don't, dude, it's this weird balance between like you have ultimate agency and freedom of choice, but also like life keeps moving you down certain paths and directions. And like, what are the odds of that
Right.
really happening
Absolutely.
all on its own? Can it just be chance? Can it just be random? Because I don't know. I was driving through the canyon, going up to Bear Lake, and I had just this overwhelming, like, hit you like a freight train deja vu.
Okay.
Like the
Those
pot,
are crazy, huh?
Dude.
Hey, that is crazy.
Kevin, you gotta Google that for us. What does that mean when you have like really powerful deja vu? Because it's not coming up in my
Time traveling.
certification. Maybe,
No, literally.
but like the things my kids were saying in the back of the car, the things they were saying in the podcast, the stuff I was seeing on the road, all of it, I was like, I have done this before, or I know. And I was like finishing in my mind. I was like finishing sentences my kids were saying about stuff.
Damn.
And I was like, this is like just
That's so
surreal. So it's like, how?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like there's
Like you can't.
reality's crazy.
Crazy. It really is. And yeah, dude, it's insane, But like that's why I believe in magic, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's all forms of type of magic. You know what I'm saying? There's voodoo. I believe black magic's a real thing. I do.
Dude, I don't want to derail your podcast. I know that stuff is real. I had experiences on my mission with that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I know.
Are you comfortable sharing any? Or
I'll give you a very surface level. I'll give you two surface level explanations.
okay.
One time, we were just knocking doors, and I was in my second area, and we come up to a house, and it wasn't like the second one on my shit. The second one is one of the most crazy experiences of my entire life.
Okay.
First one, start walking up to the door, weird feeling, just off, just
gut
weird.
feeling, huh?
Like, knock on the door. There's a lady, and everything's going on Spanish. And she basically tells us, like, yeah, like this guy who's my husband's like cousin or somebody's living with us is possessed and stuff.
Wow.
And we're like, okay, come and give him a blessing. She knew about the church from Mexico, where she was from.
Okay.
She was not a member, but she had friends who were members, and she had experience with something like this. And she's, I know you guys can help. I've seen this in Mexico. This. I'm like, okay. So I'm like a pretty young missionary, like whatever. We go in. I'm with an older missionary. Give him a blessing. His like entire countenance changes. Everything changes. Pretty mellow, pretty normal. Not that crazy. But like eye opening, like something's different. Everything changed. Like, okay. The second one, dude. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how comfortable I feel even sharing it. We got a phone call from a lady.
Yeah, don't.
And she's like, hey, I need you to come over to our house right now. We need you to come over. And I could just tell by everything, something's wrong. Yeah. They don't just need us to come over. Like something's going on. So we get there. Isaiah, the moment we pulled up to the house, I tell you, I know that stuff is real.
Yeah.
Like before we knocked on the door, like we pulled, I can see it vividly in my mind, pulling into the parking lot in front of that apartment. Like I know that stuff is real.
Yeah.
And then we had a whole experience with it. It ended up being a positive experience. I had to call and get some pointers, man.
Yeah.
I did not know what to do. was not like the first experience at
Dang,
all.
it was like that.
It was, yeah. And I'll share it with you sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I had to call my mission president,
Wow.
get some pointers on what to do, because it was a different type of experience than that first one. And I'll just say this, like, everything was good in the end, and those people got baptized faster than anyone I've ever seen get baptized before. So
wow.
So I know that stuff is real.
You know, that stuff is so crazy to me. And I never went on a mission, right? But like, I hear so many stories of people who've been on their missions and have like experienced like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even
That's 2 days out of 2 years. Not every day's like that, right?
right, absolutely, of course, right? But like, you know, well, you're called to help. You know what I'm saying? You're called to serve, and people need help, and especially in those regards. And like people say they don't believe in like ghosts or like spirits, evil or positive. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in them, and like, hey, that's cool. That's your thing. For me, I know for a fact they real. I know you know what I'm saying? Like, I know for a fact they are, just through my own experiences, not just through everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I have crazy stories of my own. However, though, like, you know, growing up, like, people would tell me stories. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, you really went through that? That's, you know what I'm saying? You really saw this person levitating? You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. You know, and like, even my dad, so he grew up in Africa, right? And, you know, in his, like, well, there's black magic everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
However, though, is in some places where he's from, it's pretty, like, prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
has a big following.
Yes, absolutely, right? And so, like, I mean, families get cursed off of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, like, he wouldn't ever get too deep into stories that he told me. He just, like, nah, I don't mess with that. Like, I don't play with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even pay no mind to certain things when you see this. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I bet he has. Just like a lot of people, including what you just said. You know what I'm saying? So that's ooh, got little hairs standing up. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, my dad.
Crazy.
Like, someday we should go. My mom and dad to meet my dad. He's a riot, but my dad had an experience on his mission like pretty similar to the one I had. And I remember him telling to me when I was a kid, thinking, first of all, that's kind of scary, but also not 100% sure I believe you.
Fair enough.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
might add in a little.
Yeah, maybe this. And then like, I'm like, no, my dad was telling me straight. Like, that was a real thing. So, dude, yeah, like that stuff is, I don't know. I think that stuff is very, very real. I've experienced it firsthand. My companion experienced it firsthand. It was very real. That family, I was just in Dallas. The wards have changed their night and they moved. But I looked them up. I want to go say hi because I think she ended up being the primary president. Like,
no way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's sick.
So,
hey, Kev, you have any
Not
recent
crazy experiences like that.
I was gonna say
There's just one woman who thought her kid was possessed, but that was a little outlandish.
Oh.
But
like just a bunch
Fair
of
enough.
Red Bull.
Got your stash, man.
I'll tease you with a little story before we like close this off.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we went out to Utah Lake and have bonfires. And the place we had a bonfires is now organized camping, and it's like all nice. But when I was a kid, that's the only thing it was good for was stacking up pallets and having bonfires. And so we have big bonfires out there. Sometimes the party got too cool for us, like drugs, alcohol would show up, and we'd have to be like,
all right, I'm
all
out.
right,
Thanks.
love you guys.
This is a great time.
I love you guys. You guys have a good time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go home. But that's kind of what that place was for. We were out there and coming back from a party, running late. Oh, shoot, gotta go. My dad, especially me, I'm the oldest, so he's definitely the hardest on me. I thought my childhood's a whole other story, but anyway, so get in the car. I'm racing home. I'm like, I gotta get home in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I could probably get home at 7. I'll be 2 minutes late. I won't get in that much trouble, you know. So I'm flying, and it just started to rain. Not heavy, light rain as we were leaving. So it starts to rain. Farmer decides, hey, I gotta get my tractor. I left in this field. Out of this field, if it gets wet, it'll sink in this field.
Sure.
So he pulls his tractor out of this muddy field, and right on a hairpin turn, he leaves fat tracks of mud on the road as he pulls it onto this gravel
Yeah.
across it. So here comes my butt flying down this road,
Yeah.
and I hit that mud, and it's a hairpin turn. And I was like Tokyo drifting stuff. I thought I was pretty tough,
Yeah.
right? And so like I hit that stuff, and the moment, so it launched me
Okay.
into a ditch
Oh shoot.
because like it's
Yeah, 'cause
drainage
that-
canal ditch.
yeah, yeah.
So I caught air in my family car,
Oof.
and from the moment it took me to leave that embankment and land on the other side, I saw my entire life. That's a real thing. I saw my entire life flash before my eyes, and I saw like like a bright light
Yeah.
in front of the car. It was not from electricity. I don't know. Maybe this is a normal. It's not a near-death experience. It's got a different name. It's like a
Ooh, I know you're talking
close
about.
death experience, something
Near
like.
death? Yeah.
So there's near death where you're actually like you're kind of dead,
Oh. Okay.
and then there's like close death experience or something. Maybe Kevin can Google it, where you get really close to dying,
Okay.
and you have a kind of a weird experience,
Yeah.
right? And this is the latter. So we jump this embankment. I see my life. It's true. Like you'll see your entire life, and it's even like you can kind of like as it's going by your eyes, you can kind of slow down to focus on stuff.
Mm.
It's weird. And then I see a bright light in front of the hood of my car. Boom. Land in the embankment. Airbags deploy.
Yeah, going off.
Slamming your head into the thing. And I remember like smoke in the cabin from the airbags. And then like you're like semi-conscious.
Yeah.
And then I remember our radio was still playing. It was playing Hotel California. Still remember that too.
Boy.
It was still playing there. And then we like climb out and there's a drop into the ditch. We like, what's it called, Kevin? You have it?
I
Oh,
can't
no.
find it. The
Anyway,
only
so
thing that comes up is near-death experience, which is
you tried close death experience? Dang it, it's got a different name. Anyway, so we get out everything. We're like concussed, or we walk down the road. Another friend we play football with comes, sees us, picks us up. He has a cell phone.
Yeah.
Call my mom and dad. Police come. Everyone comes. Cops talking to us. He said, "You know how close you were to dying? Like, I mean, airbag. We had seatbelts on.
Right.
Airbags caught us." He's like, "If you would have been 6 inches to the right," he shows me, "there's a concrete box there where they lift and raise the irrigation thing." He says, "You hit that, you flip it, and you die.
Damn.
You've been 6 inches to the left. You hit this power pole, and you wrap your car around that, and you die." He says, "I don't know how you got lucky enough to land in between those things." He said, "Exactly 6 inches apart, but you did. You're lucky." You know this. And then I remember my dad telling me, he's like, "Jake, I don't want to get it." Anyway, he's like, there's still things you need to do here. And that's the only reason why you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wondered, like, was that bright light? Was that something helping me midair? Like here, there? I don't know, man. But I'm telling you, good, bad, you have agency, you have choice, but also maybe we committed to do some things here.
Yeah.
And like,
Some things you just can't.
so some stuff lines up for you, helps you. I don't know, man. You think so, Kev?
I agree.
yes.
100%. I've had.
And
Go ahead.
so many times, like I used to DoorDash and a lot. And there were so many times where I was like, I think I missed an accent by probably like a centimeter right there.
Yep.
And every single time it happens, you can always feel like so like some people say like they feel their family members, and I've definitely felt that before, where I feel like my family members have been there like protecting me. Like I got in a semi decent accident, like car ran a red on University and State and Orem, so like the biggest intersection in Utah County probably, right there, and like I'm making a left-hand turn, just comes right through, slams right in. It could have been really ugly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
but
like literally the
but
problem.
like I was fine, and I could definitely feel like, you know, protection. That's spiritual protection, you
100%.
know. And like I got up and walked away from the accident. Everyone got up and walked away from the accident, and it was pretty miraculous because it was like a six car accident because it hit one car going the other way, and then it hit me, and then it spilled into a different car. Like it was freaking wild.
Dang.
And, yeah, but
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I've had It's weird. My whole life, I've had like a lot, more than I wish I could. That I wish I could admit. But like, I've had a lot of like near like life ending experiences. Truthfully, whether it's like death or not, you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna get into them, but like and I believe that's very true. I've had plenty of experiences where I like, whoa, like I've seen like my whole future just go by, or like I've seen like my whole life kind of go by, or like just seeing like the trajectory of what would have happened that if that followed through. You know what I'm saying? What would commonly would happen. You know what I'm saying? But like, something just saves me, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's
Good company.
It's magic, man. Well, it's more than that. I believe
Power.
It's absolutely. It's a lot of things, but yeah, it's crazy. That's so wild. So when you say you saw your whole life, like you saw your whole future too?
No.
Just the
My
life that you
previous, my life up to that point.
Okay.
Like I saw basically every memory, and even like some stuff I didn't even really fully remember.
Yeah.
Just like slow motion, very high definition. And this is you're going freaking 50, 60 miles an hour through the air, traveling 15 feet. We're talking like a millisecond, half a second. I don't know. But just time just slows down, just stops, just shows you everything. And I remember there was some stuff I was like, oh, I do remember that. Like stop, like even like as time is stopping it more.
Yeah.
To like focus on those things.
Yeah.
And then them keep going. And then I remember as I caught up to the present moment, I see the light coming over the hood. And I was so freaked out by seeing the light. The light flash before your eyes thing didn't really freak me out that much. Sure. I think I told some friends and stuff about it. I didn't tell any of my friends about the light on the hood. In fact, I got out of the car. We like stumble. I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, my neck hurts so bad."
Yeah.
This, like, you're good. Like, like nothing's broken. Like, you're not bleeding. He's like, "No, I'm good." Like, me and my buddy Zach, and then we get out on the road, and I said, "Did you see that?" And he said, "See you flying off the road?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, like that was crazy." But I didn't. I thought for sure he would have seen the light thing I saw, but I don't think he did, just based off his reaction. And I was so freaked out by it. Like, this may be like only the second or third time I've ever talked about it.
Dang.
Because it's just scary in a way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's trauma for sure. PTSD from that too. Like, who really wants to
talk about that? Yeah.
But
those when the cop was talking about it, I was like, oh, maybe that light was something or someone or some, I don't know.
Yeah.
Putting me right directly in between those two things.
Literally.
So, or maybe I just got lucky.
Maybe.
And maybe it was just adrenaline.
Or maybe it was something else.
Maybe. Man. I don't know.
That's so wild. So, I don't mean to keep you guys longer.
No.
But real quick, what are your guys' thoughts on like afterlife? Since we're on this. Since we're on this topic. So like, this is the thing, man. When I was 19, I had like a weird obsession with trying to find this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to like find, I don't know why. Sometimes like I'll think of like a topic that, is honestly unsolvable. Like how the world was truly created.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of things, right? And honestly, a lot of times I find a way to come up with an answer that's satisfying that makes sense to me, right? And honestly, I feel like I've been blessed with knowledge that
the prophet talked about this not that long ago. He said, "For those that have ears to hear and eyes to see, our Father in heaven is anxious to give away the secrets of the universe." So if you're really,
I've came up with some crazy stuff.
If you're really pondering and thinking about stuff, like I think the Spirit will give you little nuggets along the way, give you little insights.
Okay. Honestly, I can see
along the way,
because there's some things, man, I'm just like, that makes sense. Just how like certain things. Anyways, I'm talking about the afterlife.
Yeah.
So when I was 19, this was like the first thing. And honestly, this is the only thing that I still
high school
can't put a finger on.
Isaiah or Boise State
Boise
Isaiah?
State Isaiah.
Okay, Boise State Isaiah.
I was 19, so this is like 2020.
Okay.
When I had all the time in the world to think, right? But like I was reading a whole bunch of, articles. I watched a lot of documentaries, a crap ton of YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Of what the afterlife is like, or what happens when you die, right? And I mean, at the time, like, uh, you know, I was kind of, I was hearing a lot of different perspectives,
Yeah.
right? And it was crazy because there's one video that really stood out to me that was kind of weird. And this was still in a time where I was trying to like sustain like my faith, you know, my what my religious beliefs are, you know, I'm finding it for myself,
You stepped
right?
out of your house for the first time.
Exactly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I'm learning. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find what's right for me and what works for me, right? And so, you know, like they're talking about like there's a scientific not a study but like article basically well it was a study of 5 people that supposedly on record died and came back to life.
There's a great movie about this, by the way.
Really?
Go on.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, in this video it said that there's 5 people, and there's other people who obviously had similar experiences, but they specifically took these 5 people because each one of them had different religious beliefs.
Uh-huh.
All right. There's one person who was a Christian. There was another person who was like a Roman Catholic, right? There's a Muslim, Buddhist, I believe, and
Atheist.
An atheist.
Yep.
Yes, an atheist. And their stories about how they died, well, what happened when they died, is crazy. So they only had they had 2 similarities, but the last similarity is different. I'm telling you guys in a second. But they all had this scenario where they were walking in this like path kind of.
Yeah.
Supposedly like the road to heaven or whatever, like the stairs of heaven or whatever. And on the way up, each of them had 5 people that impacted them in their lives. But it wasn't people that they would have assumed or would have thought it was. People, in fact, they've only seen once. People they didn't even recognize.
Mm.
But because of their impact on them was so substantial that they didn't even know, they were one of those people that was there greeting them to heaven, essentially, right? Or like whatever their heaven was. And like some people had like it was their parents or it was like, you know, their high school friend.
Mm-hmm.
Some people said like, well, one person said it was like their first grade teacher, and like another person said that if I'm not mistaken, it was like one of their classmates from college, right? And so, anyways, yeah, that was the first similarity, and then the second one, once they like got through all these people, like talked to them and everything, they're like, you know, it was a very welcoming feeling, like a peaceful feeling for them all. They got to this, it's like this this euphoric kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
so much peace.
So much peace,
So
right?
much happiness and joy.
Exactly. And they're all greeted by who they praised.
Mm-hmm.
The first person was greeted by Jesus, apparently. The second person was greeted by
Virgin Mary.
Yes, or yeah, somebody. Sorry, not to.
Oh, no,
I'm
no.
I'm gonna take that on. I'm not fully educated in the Catholic religion. You know what I'm saying? The next person was greeted by I think it's I forgot who.
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yes, Muhammad. I forgot his name. Muhammad. And then the other one was greeted by Buddha, and the last one, it's crazy because the last one was greeted by Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think basically what they concluded from the study was that your heaven is what you make. You make your own heaven, and that's what they concluded with, which was very interesting to me because,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, you spend all your whole life praising this being, this godly being, you know, and you know it's crazy to see that all these people were satisfied. You know, they felt satisfied when they died, and they saw who they praised. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, it's just I honestly don't fully believe in a lot of things.
Yeah.
But that was the one that stuck out to me the most because it's like real things that these people really saw or like believed they saw. You know what I'm saying?
You got to watch. It's a documentary. I say movie. It's a documentary. It's all cases. All the cases are when people were clinically dead.
Okay.
EMTs show up, no pulse, no breath, or going for surgery, flatline.
Yeah.
This.
Over. Yeah.
And then they proved they were dead because they provided details of things that happened while they were dead.
Okay.
Because they saw them out of body experience. Several of the people are Christian. One person's an atheist. One person's a Buddhist. Almost all of them see Jesus.
Really?
In this one. It's called After Death.
Okay.
You should go watch it.
Yeah.
Cost money, let me know. I'll buy it for you. Happily buy it for you so we can
Let's.
talk about it more.
Yeah.
Next time we get brunch or something.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like there's a lot more similarities than differences when you dive into these near-death experiences. Yeah, I'm going to share a journal entry with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just personally between you and I later. I feel like that's the appropriate thing to do.
100%.
But yeah, so After Death, check it out. I convinced my wife and another colleague. We got done with training in Tucson one time, and we had hours to kill for our flight. I was like, hey, I want to see this movie. Let's go see it. My wife and they're not as open to things as I am.
Sure.
They were like, I don't know. They went and saw it. They liked it. They were like, actually, that was incredibly interesting.
I was going to say, it must have been very intriguing.
The guy they start out with is a doctor at the University of Florida, I believe, a heart surgeon. And he talks about, I did not believe any of this. I thought this is some kind of end of existence experience your brain creates to soothe you as you die, some kind of survival mechanism or something that lets you die
your
peacefully.
Your body does release DMT when you die.
It does.
And the effects of DMT, from what I've been able to study and hear about, does that to some people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, if DMTs, was Joe Rogan always say, if DMT is an illegal substance, we're all guilty because we're all carrying, right? Because it's endogenous. We make it in our bodies.
It is. Yeah.
Heavenly Father, I'm sure, has that chemical in our bodies for different reasons.
Yes, absolutely.
He didn't make a mistake by putting it there.
Nope.
Anyway, it's fascinating to say, but the guy who starts out as doctor, he's like, I didn't believe any of this. I thought this was hokey bullcrap or just something a brain creates as people die and this. And then he read the study about a lady who passed away in surgery, and then she comes back to life, and she's dead for not a little bit of time, a long time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of stories of people who are dead for hours, like on the more extreme side, and come back, and they're giving details of stuff that are happening while they're not breathing, while their heart's not beating, while there's no brainwave pattern.
Wow.
So you tell me, dude. Like, anyway, very interesting documentary. I got down the rabbit hole of just listening to people's near-death experience on YouTube too. There's about a bazillion of them.
Oh, there's a ton. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. And it has to tie into that, like, you know, because I truly believe there's three phases of the body, or of like a being, you know, the spiritual, mental, and the physical, right? And like when the physical's not there, then the mental goes, but the spiritual part of it,
it's its own thing,
complete thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, truthfully, like, spiritual part of it's like, if you look at the triangle, man, like, I believe it's like this, right? And the spirit part of it is what's like the main part that's holding everything together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it has to be, right? Like, but I mean, yeah. But anyways, so like, if that part doesn't fail, you know, but the other two do, temporarily, then that's where these, you know, out of body experiences would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
have you heard about vision in near-death experiences? So we have linear and peripheral vision, right? Like we can see straight ahead and a little bit off to the sides. Almost everyone in near-death experiences talks about 360 vision. Like they can see in front of them and behind them. Dang. And that's almost universal when people talk about the experience. Like, it was really weird. I could see everything.
Yeah.
And so
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things, man, that are almost universally the same. Makes you wonder.
Man.
What do you think, Kev? Have you gone down that rabbit hole of near-death experiences before?
Not as intense.
Oh yeah, I've been down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I'm sure. I see you have too, my friend.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, I'm sure some of the viewers have, man.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's, you know, it's an interesting topic, bro.
It's one
And
of the
when you get caught, you get caught. You know, you get interested, you're hooked. You know what I'm saying?
and it's one of the biggest questions of life.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Where
the one thing that I'm just like,
Where
I
did we
cannot find anything that would make sense.
where do we come from? Why are we here?
Mm,
Where are we going after we die?
literally. And you know, I don't need to find that out anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You know
Not
what?
for certain.
Hey,
Not for certain.
I haven't came up with anything yet. You know, I'm good. I don't need to find out for a while. I mean, I have an idea, obviously, but yeah, no. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. But yeah, no, that's crazy, man. And it's cool because, like, sorry, no, I'm dragging this along, but you can tell, like,
Bro, I love this
Dude,
podcast.
this stuff is on my mind
This is
all
the
the time.
best
bro.
episode we've ever had.
I agree. You know what I'm saying? This is, I mean, she's the realest, man. This is what it's supposed to be, man. And, like, so we talked about that one day. Kev, one day, Jake and I and Trey,
Yeah.
we went to this one spot. No free promo. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. You thought I was gonna say. We went to this one spot for just some lunch, man, and we're sitting there by like the sun, right? And like how much more important it is than most people realize, right? And like I like to sit down and watch documentaries sometimes. There's one documentary on Netflix. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it essentially talks about certain aspects of nature. It talks about like time zones in the universe, not just Earth, which is in itself is crazy. We can talk about it another time, but it also has an episode that talks about just the sun and how it's created, how it essentially created our world, and like everything in space, these different stars, how important they are, and like how the sun was created, and like you see it playing such a big piece of the puzzle to everything we see. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want to. I don't need to get too deep into it because I know we're finishing this up this episode, but we'll talk about it next time. But anyways, so like that type of stuff, man. Like that's what I'm always thinking about. I'm always thinking about that.
Dude,
stuff.
there's a video. I'll just take 2 minutes.
Yeah, go
Less.
ahead.
Video on YouTube. Michael Rush is a great YouTube follow. Gospel guy, the LDS gospel guy. He talks about how they keep getting the Hubble space telescopes bigger and bigger, bigger views. And there's a paradox that the bigger the view they get, the more they realize, oh, shoot, the Earth might not be the center of our solar system, but it appears to be the center of the entire universe. Okay? And so, which is wild for me, at least, to think about.
It's pretty crazy.
And then he's like, well, if Jesus Christ was going to come to a place in the universe to redeem the entire universe, and God says it's his footstool, like it obviously has this prime location there. Anyway, like you want to talk about time zones of the universe or location of the universe, you could look it up. Michael Rush, just scroll through his videos. You'll find him on there talking about it. It'll blow your mind.
That is crazy. That wow, I did not know that.
X-axis, Y-axis,
Right.
whatever, through the entire universe, it appears the more high-depth view we get of it, the more and more it's like, oh, yeah, the Earth might be the center of everything, of the galaxy systems, whatever you call the galaxies together.
Wow. And also, to the crazy part that I've learned as well is like those time zones in Earth, like there's different time zones everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking like we have 24 hours here on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on Mars, was it 38, I believe, or was it lower than that?
I've never retained any of that info, but I know what you mean.
But man, like every little planet, every little like system has different time zones in space. Like, and everybody wants to say like, like how like God's timing is so different than everybody else's time. You know what I'm saying? And like the world was created in 7 days. Maybe it was created in 7 days, like on, this planet, or it could be created on 7 days on another planet, or not in the planet, in the universe. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
dude,
it's,
like
infinite.
You get into that interstellar stuff where it's like Okay, you got fifth dimensional
Yes.
beings. You've got these beings that experience reality differently because they're in a higher state,
Yes.
right? Anyway, we get way into that.
I literally.
But like, it's like, oh, like, well, we know this is like, dude, do you think that God looks at time on a 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365 schedule? Maybe he does in context of Earth and his timing of
Sure.
things on Earth.
But in the grand scheme of things,
Like, dude, time could be an egg timer to that guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Literally.
Like, time could be, dude, time, like they talk about in Interstellar, is like time could be a mountain, and like to them, like it could be this different thing than what we see.
Complete different thing. Complete different system, organization, and kind of deal. Like
People who like crap on like religion and belief and all this stuff, like, well, you think that the Earth is this old, but they're like, dude, I think you're looking at time from a very different perspective than the architect of the universe looks at time.
yes,
A completely different way.
100% complete. And it's truthfully it's beyond what we can fathom. But like those little gold nuggets that you're talking about, like I mean science was put here for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't just, you know, it's not just fluky.
Dude, you can do an experiment and prove that the theory of relativity is correct. And you can do an experiment and prove that quantum physics is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And they both contradict each other. Explain that to me. Okay? Like there's like,
whoa, when you want to talk about quantum physics.
dude, like, you want to get into like this stuff, like you can
Yeah.
prove both are correct.
Yeah,
Like you can prove both things are accurate. Like Einstein was right. Like these things are correct. Like we can prove them with what limited things we're able to measure and study, but they're supposed to contradict each other, but they're both right. What does that tell us? We don't know anything, dude.
Nah.
We don't really know anything.
You know?
So
It's crazy, man. It's when the magic comes in, bro.
It's the magic.
Cold magic, man. It's crazy. Well, man, Kev's over here yawning, bro. He's getting a little. Hey, man, we've been keeping y'all for long, man. But I
Yeah.
appreciate the conversation,
Of course.
man, from both of y'all, man. And I'm sure they can agree. And hopefully y'all got a little new perspective or grow your perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's a realist, man. What more can you expect? You know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna go ahead and close that episode up. Onward to UCF this weekend, and then next week will be the bye. I'm sure we'll still have our episode next week.
absolutely.
So I'll see y'all then. One more time, shout out Chubbies and Orem, and this was a great episode, man.
Yeah.
What is it? The 22nd of October. So it was a little bit. You got a little spookiness in there. You got a little,
Halloween themed.
yeah, Halloween theme, man. So
I
it
need
was
to
a good one.
You might get Gary in here sometime, bro.
No kidding.
Because Gary can go deep with this too.
I know he can.
We've
We've had a conversation.
I have too. I have had to. I like it.
Yeah,
I like his perspective.
We're gonna have to do that. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Realest, and I'm your host Isaiah Bagnah. We had Jake and Kev today, man, per usual. And yeah, bro, peace.